If starting life really has become harder, if rent is higher, ownership is harder, debt is more normal, and the old first step into adulthood is weaker than it used to be, then what are people actually supposed to do? Because there are two bad answers. One says, the system is broken, so there's no point trying. The other says, just work harder, budget better, and stop complaining. But neither answer is enough. The real answer has to be harder than that. It has to be personal, and it has to be political. So where does that leave us? If the starter life is dying in its old form, the answer cannot be to give up. But it also cannot be to pretend this is all just a mindset problem. The cheap apartment, the affordable starter home, the reliable first job, the used car that was actually cheap, in many places that version of beginning has been badly damaged. But people still need a way to begin. They still need independence, stability, savings, room to make mistakes, and a basic version of life that lets them grow into something more. So maybe the question is not only, how do we bring back the old starter life? Maybe it is, what does a new first step look like now? On a personal level, some of the answer has to be practical. It may mean living with family longer without shame, sharing costs with roommates, partners, or friends, building skills earlier, investing small amounts before you feel rich enough to invest, avoiding debt that only buys appearances, choosing stability before aesthetics. Not because any of this magically fixes the economy. It doesn't. Learning a new skill does not fix the housing market. Investing in the S&P 500 does not lower rent next month. Skipping stupid purchases does not solve wages, debt, healthcare, zoning, childcare, or the fact that so many basic things now cost too much. But these things still matter because they are levers within reach. We should be honest about the system without surrendering our own agency to it. Some choices still matter. Building skills matters. Saving what you can matters. Avoiding fake status matters. Owning small assets before chasing big milestones matters. Refusing to confuse looking adult with becoming free matters. Because that is one of the traps of the modern economy. It sells people the image of adulthood before they have the foundation of adulthood. The apartment, the car, the phone, the lifestyle, the posts, the payments. But looking independent is not the same as being free. So yes, build what you can personally, but that cannot be where the conversation ends. Because if the starter life disappeared for millions of people at the same time, across cities, countries, and entire economies, then this is not just a personal finance problem. It is a policy problem too. And this is not just a feeling. Housing researchers and institutions keep coming back to the same basic problem. If the supply of affordable homes is too low, if rents keep rising faster than incomes, if transport, childcare, healthcare, and debt eat the margin, then millions of people can make better choices and still be starting from a worse position. Housing policy matters. Wages matter. Healthcare costs matter. Education costs matter. Childcare matters. Transportation matters. Tax policy matters. The way we treat renters, first-time buyers, debt, work, and ownership matters. These are not abstract issues. They decide whether millions of people get a real first step or just another monthly bill. So learn the skill, save the money, invest the small amount, build the emergency fund. Take the boring steps that give you a little more room to breathe. But also, vote like the first step matters. Talk like it matters. Support policies that make beginning possible again. Pay attention to who benefits from the current system and who gets locked out of it. Because personal finance can help you survive inside the system. But policy decides what kind of system millions of people are forced to survive in. The answer cannot only be work harder, and it cannot only be wait for politics to fix everything. It has to be both. Build what you can, change what you must. and stop accepting the idea that adulthood should have no entry level. And if the old world no longer gives people that first step, then maybe the most important financial skill of this generation is learning how to build one. Not alone, not only through hustle, and not only through politics, but through both. Because the starter life did not die because one generation forgot how to work hard. It died because the cost of beginning was allowed to rise faster than the ability to begin. A society can survive luxury being expensive. It can survive comfort being expensive. It can survive status being expensive. But when the beginning becomes expensive, the future itself starts to shrink. And that is why the starter life matters. Not because everyone deserves an easy life, but because everyone needs a place to start.